In the previous video, we saw how we can use sample projects from the CAUS website to study and know about many features of ENSCAPE for Archicad, and so we can continue to explore the various resources on the site. Now, in this video, I'm going to open a document that I created in the Archicad video course. Well, more than one, actually, more than one scenes, so that we can see how we can start to work in combination with Archicad and ENSCAPE using the libraries. Now, Archicad comes with its own libraries, so we have a lot of objects that we can already use, and we have architectural elements, and then we have predefined walls and floor structure and roofs and much more. But also ENSCAPE comes with its own assets. So I can open up the asset library, and this is the one that you can open up from Archicad. And also let's launch ENSCAPE. And also we have the same library in ENSCAPE, but it has like a couple of more features that we're gonna see that are pretty interesting. So I can open up also from here, so you can see the little icon, kind of a little tree, orange tree inside the box. That's the asset library. So I've opened up this first scene, which is a lesson about the walls in Archicad, so how you can create the walls. And the walls in Archicad, or also in Revit, in building information modeling, they also have structure, and they are made of layers, and they have also like little architectural elements, etc., etc. So they are pretty complex objects, and all the materials that are defined in Archicad will be already visible in ENSCAPE. Now, for the bricks, we can see a little bit of tiling here, but you need to consider render that you can do for interiors and exteriors. So in this case, this is a scene that was prepared for an interior. And I can apply also, you can see here directly from ENSCAPE. I can maximize the ENSCAPE window. Also, I have a custom editor. I can have categories and libraries that are customized. I can import customized geometry, but I dedicated another video guide to this that you will find in a channel. So just look for custom asset library in ENSCAPE. But essentially, it's just a matter of getting an FBX. So you're gonna import it. You click on the button on the top right to import the geometry. Just wait a while. And if you use FBX format, it will also have the textures embedded with it. So you will find the geometry and the texture. Just need to wait a while, and it will eventually appear. It's loading. There you go. So we can already see the chair. And this is from Polyoven, by the way, and also has the textures that are a PBR texture that we're gonna see later in ENSCAPE. But essentially, you have, the possibility to expand the libraries, which are already full of models, but you can even import more. And also, you can, again, use everything that you already have in Archicad, and you have a lot. And so in this case, this project here was intended for more for an interior. So I'm gonna go in an interior, and it looks really good. And I'm gonna use this model here from the people library, and I'm gonna click, and you can see is saying me that this is not possible. Why? Because I don't have a floor. And so the objects here, the assets, need to snap to something, to some surface. So if you don't have a surface to snap, you cannot position them. Now let's go back, and I opened up another lesson here of the course, and in this lesson I already put the pavement and some other, you can see projects, architectural project. But what I want to do again is an interior. Now, of course, for an interior, you need to put a roof on top. Otherwise, the sunlight will come not only from the windows, but also, from above, like a giant ceiling, open ceiling, or giant window on the ceiling. So let's again go into the libraries, and let's do it again. So you have two options. One is from Archicad, and so you just select whatever you want, and you can see I have a lot of favorites here. To put the favorite, you just mark it with a little art. And let's get like another model, for example, this dog. So if I click on the little art, it's going to go into the favorites. So I'm going to find it there. And then you see you have categories here and like construction, furnishing. Now, I'm sorry, now this is in Italian, but it's really simple to understand. You don't need, the English interface here, because there's really nothing to understand. They're just models. You select one, you drag it, and you drop it inside. So let's say I want to put this dog. I can click or drag, and then it's asking me to position that asset. You can also read it down in the Archicad window. There you go. As you can see that this is detecting that surface. You can see here, click to place the asset. So he knows that that asset will go there. So I'm going to click, and there you go. It's perfectly placed in the scene. And then I can get a little closer, and I can see it better. I can see it also in the ENSCAPE. And if I right click, I can edit it. So I can move, rotate, delete, whatever. Now let's close the library assets so we can see that dog standing in front of the window. And these look pretty different from ENSCAPE to Archicad. If we look closer, and by the way, you can move it just by right clicking and select the move tools, or you can use the tools that you usually use in Archicad to move, rotate, and scale. Now let me get closer, because you can see that they look pretty different. Now in Archicad we have what is called a proxy, which is a simplified version of that model, so that Archicad doesn't get stuck. It doesn't get too heavy. Even if you import like 1,000 of these, it still be usable. Otherwise, if you use other assets, they could like get your Archicad stuck. So I'm going to rotate this, or Control R if you want to rotate, just to show you that you can manipulate this really easily in Archicad, and you can do it also in ENSCAPE. Now in ENSCAPE, you can access from there the L key, or just select the asset editor from here. And let's bring in something else. So on the top, you have the list of the categories, and then you have the favorites here, and then here you have other tags if you want to like narrow your search. But let me go into my favorites. Again, the customized assets, custom libraries, and then I'm going to get one of these. Let's get this model here. So I'm going to, you can see here again, you can click and drag, or just click, and now it's snapping with a little orange dot, which is the insertion point into the pavement on the scene. Now at the bottom, we have a blue button. We need to click on that to apply that modification to the scene, that model. And you can continue to put more if you want. So I don't want to do that, so I'm just gonna exit, just to show you again the difference between the proxy object and the actual 3D model. The actual 3D model looks way more realistic. It has textures and a lot of details, clothing, and it looks pretty real. It looks pretty realistic. So again, I'm going to open up the asset library in ENSCAPE this time, because you can see on the left you have a toolbar that is not visible, is not accessible in Archicad. And again, it contains some editing tools, transformation tools like rotate, move, and scale. So I can position this object wherever I want. I can rotate it, and also I can take the origin and place it somewhere else, as long as it's going to be on a surface. So it needs a surface to snap to. And again, I can resize it, I can scale it, I can make it a giant, I can make it small. And then I have these other two, which are like more for vegetation. So single placement and multiple placement, and we're going to see those later. So once we finish, again, remember to go down and to apply your editing down there. So you click on the blue button to apply, and now it's in. So now that it's in, I can decide. I can continue to modify it in ENSCAPE. And also you can see from here, you can change the appearance of some objects. Some objects are editable, changeable. You can change the color. In this case, we can change the clothing, etc., etc. So you have it also like for some cars, some vehicles, and things like that. So I'm gonna reposition this closer to the camera and select another clothing. So apply, and let me rotate it. I think I didn't change the clothing. So also down here you have rotation with the degrees. So you can do it precisely, and also position. Position means where the origin of the object is gonna be. Okay, let's apply. Didn't change the material, so I'm gonna select it again. Use the selection tool on the library asset to select it. And then once it's selected, there you go. I can enter and I can change. And now we should see the new material. There you go. So now we can see it. And of course, we need to apply the changes, always with the button at the bottom once you're finished. Don't forget. And so that's how easy it is to bring assets into Archicad. The rest is basically taken care of by Archicad. You have all the layers, well, everything distributed in categories, families, layers, and you don't really need to do anything if you already worked in Archicad. And Archicad helps you a lot to organize and manage everything, like the various structures and the various materials. They are already predefined, preset for you to work really quickly in ENSCAPE. You can see here, this is another structure of pillars and beams. And let me open here another final scene so I can show you also some special materials. What are special materials? Special materials are detected by ENSCAPE. So most of the materials in Archicad are set to be used already in ENSCAPE. You don't need to do anything, except if you want to modify them more in ENSCAPE. Otherwise, you don't need to do anything. And some of those are special, meaning that they can create some really cool effect. And I'm going to show you here the grass and the water, but then you have also others. But I think these are the most interesting. So first thing you can see in this scene, I also have a terrain. So I don't have only a building, and this is more like an exterior visualization, architectural visualization. So I didn't take care too much of the interiors, but more on the exteriors. And also you have some urban design and landscape design. You have some street lights there. But look at the grass. That's the special material right there. So the grass looks way more realistic than it's in Archicad, because it's actual 3D. We can see the 3D grass in there, and we didn't have to do anything. It's already preset for you by Archicad and ENSCAPE. Now, if you hold the Shift key and right mouse, you can also change the position of the sun, making a nice solar study. So you can see also in the night how the artificial lights, they just turn on. So everything that is, an artificial light will be visible more, and especially when you are in a night scene or evening, etc., etc. So in the day we don't really see them. Okay, so the other material I want to show you is the water. So I need to select an object where we can apply that. So I'm going to select this front, like square, this area. It's a concrete area in front of the building. Also, I can make this closer. I pinned this before to always be on top. So I can make it smaller, and it's also going to be faster because it's smaller. And so I can select here. Let me make this even, all the full size. And then here I can select the material for that slab, for that floor. So you have also a lot of materials in Archicad that, again, you can already use. You don't need to do anything, just apply them or just use the defaults. Now, if I look for water, you can see I can find the water. And if I apply the water material to that concrete floor, well, it's going to make it a water surface. And it's going to be also animated. It looks really beautiful and realistic. I mean, for the effort, I think that's a beautiful result. With few clicks, we have everything done and something, you know, that we can present to someone interested. It's not, again, the perfect rendering. We can still render everything, but it's still, with few clicks, we already done a lot. Now, there are special names for materials that you can use also in other software like SketchUp or Rhino. So if you put, for example, glass just as a name to the material, that is going to be turned into a glass. Same goes for other special names like chrome, mirror, steel, car paint, polished, ceramic, marble, plastic. All these, they are materials that you can do in ENSCAPE manually. You can set them, or you will find them already in libraries, or again, you can just, you know, put the name, and that, like for example, grass, you can just type grass on a material and that's going to turn it into glass, or water, or emissive, or carpet. Now these are all like keywords that will turn your material into a, let's call it a special material in ENSCAPE. And again, this is not just for Archicad, but for any software that uses ENSCAPE. And for the grass, you also have like wild grass, tall grass, short grass, and so on. So you have also like types of grasses, but we will see this later on. So subscribe to stay updated, join the channel to support us and thank us if you want, and also check out other video courses that you will find in the channel and other video guides. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next lesson.